Welcome to my channel where we cover the lore of video games. We cover all kinds from the mainstream to the indie, so I hope you enjoy your stay, and welcome to the Chronicler of Lore. Since the warding scales are ready, the Warrior of Light and Nadana hop on a boat and sail for the Tower of Zod, but not before she tells you to put her down if the scales don't keep her from getting tempered. Lucky for her, the scale does its job, keeping the woman safe from the tower's influence, but it wouldn't be a good test if she didn't make sure that they worked closer to the building, so the two of you head right up to the front door. Nadana still doesn't get tempered, which means they finally found a way to keep it from happening. All that's left now is to mass produce the thing so you can have an army of temper-resistant people to attack the towers. Unfortunately, the scale doesn't protect the wielder from direct attacks, and a pair of chains snatch Nadana into the tower. The Warrior of Light follows her and comes face to face with Fandaniel right as he merges the alchemist with the tower. Fandaniel figured that you'd be impressed with his new creation like his old masters would have been, but seeing as how his invention just ate your new friend, the Warrior of Light's not really amused. She also has no idea who Fandaniel's old masters were. But since the Ascian likes to hear the sound of his own voice, he decides to tell you a story. He's not the original Fandaniel, but he did get the soul of the one who was a part of the convocation when the final days hit. He was born immortal and lived mortal until he was recruited by the Ascians and had memories of his unsundered form restored. But he never actually felt like a part of their group. Just reminding someone of who they used to be wouldn't exactly change much about them, especially if they created a whole new life with new memories and experiences. And that goes double when the person's lived a life as colorful as the one that Fandaniel had. See, the Warrior of Light's not only heard of the old Fandaniel, everyone has. Fandaniel was the Allegan Empire's insane, genius, murdering scientist Amon. The man who replaced people's heads with animals way back during the time of the Allegan Empire's prosperity, the man who resurrected Emperor Zan so he could conquer the world, is the very same Ascian who is trying to end it all now. When Zan was on his way to losing his war with Mericidia, Emet-Selch showed up to restore Amon to his seat as Fandaniel so he wouldn't die with the rest of the Allegans. He didn't believe that they would lose, but since geniuses covered their bases in every way that they can, he sent a clone of himself to the Crystal Tower just in case things went wrong. It turns out that Emet-Selch was right, and the Allegan Empire fell, proving that the only thing in life that was guaranteed was death, and everything else was pointless. The Echo showed the Warrior of Light the entire scene, and when it ended, Fandaniel wasn't standing in the same spot anymore, meaning you were standing there like an idiot, wide open if he wanted to draw a mustache on your face or just slit your throat. He wasn't going to do either, probably because Xenos would have killed him if he did, but he does let you know that even though Nadana is a part of the tower, she's not dead. He's using the captives as food for the primals, and that only works as long as they're still breathing. But if you try to yank them out of the tower, they will die, so that means you'll have to figure out a way to free the captives without killing them. Fandaniel leaves you to solve that problem, letting you know that you will see him again, along with your best friend Xenos, who's still looking forward to that rematch. Since there's nothing else that you can do, the Warrior of Light heads back to the Great Work to let everyone know what happened. Hearing that Nadana is trapped but alive goes over better with the alchemist than you might have expected. Her being alive means that the warding scales worked, and that means that they can equip their people with them and save their friend once they figure out how. Varshan says that the Satrap has agreed to give them whatever they need, and he sent a link pearl so they can contact him directly. As for the Scions, since Nadana vouched for them, the Satrap wants to meet with them in Razad-Han to see if you would be willing to work with him on future projects, which means you now have access to the city of Razad-Han itself. For the safety of the people of the city, since the tower had appeared, the people who could come and go were limited, so it's an honor for the Satrap to decide to let you all in. Under normal circumstances, Varshan would have shown you around, but that'll have to wait until after your meeting with the Satrap. His name is Awan, and he makes it a point to let you all know just how grateful he is that you helped the alchemist despite the fact that Nadana got caught. The alchemists want to make more talismans so she can be rescued, but he wants to know what you all think should be done. The Scions are fine with sharing their ideas since they get to do them over a nice meal, but Estinian notices that something's off. Awan tries to pretend like he doesn't know what Estinian's talking about, but since the jig is up, the real Satrap reveals himself. The true leader of Razad-Han had heard about the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, and while they hadn't met with him personally, they've had close encounters with most of his family. He is Vritra, Race Velger and Nidhogg's brother, and he's lived and ruled Razat Han in secret for a very long time. Vritra had lived in the area that would be Razat Han long before the city existed, back when the Matanga first came to the island. But they were smart enough not to mess with the dragon. The same happened when the Al-Ra showed up. They had great respect for the dragon, and it lasted for generations until some Hyur showed up and put their entire way of life at risk. A bloody war ravaged the area until Vritra put an end to it. A peace treaty was made, and Razat Han was formed with Vritra leading it, in secret. Alwan and each member of his family line before him acted as the face of Razat Han to keep people from coming to the nation constantly trying to take Vritra's eyes for his power. The war that would follow would mean death for his people, and even if they won, their peaceful way of life would be over. That's why the people who helped him form the nation were forced to keep the secret. As a way to keep an active hand in the day-to-day going-ons of the city, Vritra put an eye in a body that the alchemist made for him. That body is the boy Varshan, so the dragon had introduced himself to you when you first had met, in a manner of speaking. Estinian had sensed the dragon when he had first met the boy, and now he understands why. Vritra has spells in place that would keep people from sensing his dragon powers, but Estinian being merged with Nidhogg changed the dragoon in ways that make him very unique, something Vritra sensed in him at their first meeting too. Since neither one of them had attacked the other, it served to prove to the dragon that despite Estinian's very troubled past with Nidhogg, he's not Vritra's enemy, which is why he's okay with working with him, and he does have a request for the Scions. He wants them to take the talismans that the alchemists are making and get rid of the Tower of Zot. The tower isn't built in a way that it can be explored by something Vritra's size, nor can it fit a large army of people, so the group that goes in needs to be small enough to maneuver, but strong enough to get the job done. His elite guard known as the Radiant Host are tough, but since the Scions took down the Primals in Pagothan and Cartano, they have a better track record with this sort of thing, so he wants you all to lead the charge into the tower. And if you agree, you can keep the warding scales when you're done, which will definitely be useful on your other missions. Thancred thinks it's a good idea, but not if only the 4 of you go. This will take all of the main Scions, so he wants to regroup with Alphino and the others before you all invade the tower. Since it will take more time for the warding scales to be done anyway, you have plenty of prep time, which means you need to head back to Sharlayan, which is what you had to do anyway since the others needed the Warrior of Light's help too. And you should have just enough time to complete their tasks before the warding scales are complete and your invasion can begin. And that's where we're going to stop for today. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe, ding that notification bell, donate if you can, and I'll see you all next time.